All right. Hey, we're live.
All right.
Look at that.
Doing the thing.
Doing the thing. I guess I should bring up my outline.
Do it live.
Doing it live. All right.
I don't have my outline up either. I don't have mine up.
It's like we've never done 835 previous episodes of the show.
Right.
There we go. Now I
All
did.
right. Hello and welcome to episode 836 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
Fine.
Fine?
It's going fine.
Just fine?
It's going quite well. You know,
See.
hey.
Mm.
Well, you know, we'll talk about this after intros.
Alrighty
fine.
then.
I'm fine. I hope you're fine.
I am fine as well.
Good.
Yes.
Is there anyone else here who might be fine, CJ?
Well, it's not Greg Seward, but in his stead, we
Yeah.
have from PSVG, Mr. Donnie Reese.
Hello. Greetings, Cooplings. Trying my best to fill in the mighty shoes. Thank you for inviting me over, CJ. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been a long time. I figured we got to get you on the show. And
Oh, thank
of
you
course,
so much.
after you were on the game mess or the what were you? You were on
Yeah.
a show with
whatever
with
the hell he calls it. Yeah.
Brett. Yeah,
I think
whatever he
it's,
calls it.
Game Mess Decides, one of his 18,000 podcasts he records weekly with Jeff Grubb. Yeah. I got to hang out with him for a minute.
Excellent. Well, you're from the great state of Georgia.
Oh,
I used to live there.
don't say that. The great state? I don't know about all that. You realize I'm from Ohio, so there's no hometown love there for the state of Georgia.
Right.
Ah.
I was reminiscing about Snowpocalypse
Yeah, that
this
was
past
a bad
week.
day.
You remember that?
Do I remember? Do you know what I do?
You're in emergency services, right?
I work emergency management for the city of Atlanta.
Oh
Okay.
And I have since 2009. So I was. Do I remember? CJ? I was
You remember
scarred.
it all too well.
Scarred
Ah.
for my life. When I
Oh.
took that job, I never thought that I'd be at 3 a.m. contacting fire departments via radio, asking them to pull up binoculars to see if they could spot school buses abandoned on highways. But
Oh dear.
we did that
my
once.
gosh.
We definitely did that once.
Yeah, it was my daughter's 11th birthday last week, and we were going through like all the videos on my phone, and one of those videos was from Snowpocalypse Day, which me being from Chicago, familiar with snow,
Sure.
and knowing that Atlanta has absolutely no infrastructure to deal with snow, I was like,
Zero.
we are all staying home. We're not going anywhere. I'm going to go to the grocery store. About
See?
11:30 a.m.
man.
It started snowing. We were
Smart man.
safe at home.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the short of it. I remember we started that day at 4 a.m. because Atlanta usually has their conference call at 4:30 when they talk about bus routes. And we got on the phone with them and we said, hey, probably just not go to school today. You should close. And they said, well, the weather service says the snow's not going to come until 3, so we're going to go.
Oh.
And we're like, okay, that's a bad idea. And around 8 o'clock, the weather service started basically saying the sky is falling, like just
Oh.
calling everybody like we were wrong. It's coming in way faster than we thought. It's not 3, it's 11. So we get back on the phone with the school districts and they're like, we're going to release early. And we're like, oh no, that time has come. Like it's too late for that. And they're like, we think we can make it.
Oh.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
There's a lot of we think we can make it in
Yeah.
on this on the wrong side of the story here.
That's exactly what happened. It was
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
bad
I
day.
remember, like, even if there was a possible threat of snow anytime after that point, it was like,
Oh,
no
yeah.
school. Like, we're done. No. And even if there was no snow or whatever, it was like, well, you never know when this could happen again. So
We
I don't know.
closed there was a couple years there where we had a couple instances where we closed because it was just too cold.
Oof.
Like it was just like 28 degrees. They're like, we're not going. It might rain.
Yes.
They were just
Oh.
snake bitten. But yeah.
Yeah.
28 degrees, of course, is quite balmy when you're looking at a Chicago summer or winter.
Sure.
Or
Sure.
summer sometimes, depending. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's infrastructure in Chicago to
That
deal
is
with
also
it. There's salt trucks and plows and all that stuff. Atlanta has none of that. So even like the
Do now.
minimal amount of snow. Well, yeah, maybe you do now.
I gotta
Learned
let
the
that get
hard
past.
way.
We bought all kinds of stuff.
I took care of that.
Yes. Well, thank you, Donnie, for joining us.
Yeah.
You host your own podcast, PSVG, and you
Correct.
also run a network, the PSVG Network, which encompasses a couple of other shows as well. You want to plug your stuff here at the top of the show?
Certainly. You can find me and my band of misfits just by Googling PSVG. Type it in YouTube, Twitter, or Google, and you'll find us. My weekly podcast is called Play Some Video Games. And it's me and a couple flunkies where we basically just make fun of video games, just hang out. Like, it's not a very good show. It's somewhat news topical. It's basically I bring up the news and my co-hosts tell me that they don't care, and we find our way through it. But in better, more professional standing, we host the Nintendo Shack, which is a podcast that I started many years ago, a Nintendo Focus show that I have since turned over the reins to the great Rebecca Stone from Twinfinite, aka Forrest Minish on Twitter. We also have a board game show called Board with Video Games, and we have a sometimes PlayStation show called PlayStation Experience that drops monthly, and we do special podcasts about horror movies, and we mix and match between. We used to have an Xbox show, but as hosts come and go and interests rise and fall, we've basically consolidated. But I think we're approaching. We just passed 1 year play some video games, and but more or less we've been doing this since I think 2015 or 16. I think is when we got started, and and one way or the other we've been doing it every week since then.
Awesome. Well, I used to be an avid listener of the Xbox show that you did.
Oh, thank you.
And then, I'm an avid listener of Garrett and Rebecca on the Nintendo Shack.
Sure.
And of course, PSVG, I listen to that audio mess as well. So.
Thank you so much. I have listened to the Player One podcast for like what feels like a decade. I feel like you guys have been definitely like one of the earliest like video game focused podcasts. Back there with like some of the IGN OGs and stuff.
Yeah.
Since before I graduated college, I used to run courier runs on the weekends for extra money, and I would just drive to like West Virginia or Indianapolis or whatever overnight and back. And I used to listen to your podcasts constantly all through then. Because back then there was only like 10 podcasts you could find about video games.
Yeah.
So I used to listen to them all. Yes, this is an honor. It's quite a treat to be over here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we are very happy to have you.
Absolutely.
Phil,
Yes?
what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to
earlier?
say something, but then all this talk about snow
Oh no! Now you
It's
have
got me
something else to
thinking
say?
has got me thinking of winter. It's got me thinking of the holidays, which of course makes me think of Mountain Dew Fruit Quake.
Fruit Quake. Oh,
The
No.
fantastic new Mountain Dew flavor.
that sounds awful.
It's dew with a blast of artificial fruitcake flavor,
Oh,
according to the description on the bottle.
Nobody likes actual fruitcake. Now you want
No, they
blended
don't.
liquid.
No.
You want liquid fruitcake.
Look at that sickly reddish brown color. Look at that.
like they just liquefied fruitcake and bottled it.
Kind
I'm
of
gonna
has
try
like,
this
a,
real
like
quick.
a red ginger look.
yeah. Oh,
Might
there
not
you
be so
go.
bad.
That's
I
fresh.
wonder if
Really
it's
bad.
because it's the holidays. Maybe they suggest
Does-
that you heat it up in the microwave.
Does it have a
Freaking
fruitcake
hot.
like aftertaste?
Well, it's got kind of a cinnamony smell.
Oh,
Of course, it's the holidays.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's
Not
not
expecting that.
not wholly unpleasant.
I mean,
Let's,
we all saw the Mountain Dew fruitquake, ad in A Christmas Story. It's like 1971. When you think holidays, you think Mountain Dew.
Let me position this so the label's facing the camera while I take a
There we
swig.
go.
Ah.
That's an experienced podcaster right there.
Mm.
Influencer.
Look, he's gulping,
Mm.
swishing.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh,
You tasting the tannins, letting it breathe.
it's got more tannins than Biff's family reunion over here. Mm.
Oh, he's taking another sip. Oh, my
he's going
gosh.
back
Must-
for more.
It's
must be
not.
all right.
It's not that bad.
No, I don't trust that.
I mean,
No, I mean it is Phil, so you can't.
Yeah, I don't trust that for 1 second.
am I buying another bottle of it? I can't imagine I would.
Yeah.
But
Micah says it's good.
I might. Yeah, I'll probably finish
Well,
this off.
it's not bad. Does that equal good?
Yeah, it definitely does not.
Necessarily?
No, not bad does not mean good,
Yeah.
but it does mean not bad. I mean, what was the flaming hot one? I ended up pouring down the drain.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Okay.
this is better than that.
This oh god, 270 calories in this nonsense. Good lord.
Do you feel Christmassy? Do you want to put a sweater vest on?
I mean, a little holly, a little jolly, but I usually feel
What's
those.
the aftertaste? Like, what's the breath feel like after post swig?
Hmm.
Can you live with that? Do you need like gum?
No, I mean, you know what? Cinnamony. It's not.
Okay,
It's
Cinnamony,
not
huh?
terrible.
okay.
I mean, if you like,
I don't
Where's
know
the
that I want to
fruit
drink
cake
a
part?
cinnamon beverage though. Like,
Where's the
yeah,
fruitcake part though?
I on the label.
That's it.
Apparently.
So I don't mind a cinnamony type of drink. Like I'm really into like ginger beer and ginger ale and stuff like that. So
Oh,
as long as it's like that, because it looks like kind of like a Red Rocks from appearance. That's what it kind of looks like. I was just afraid that they had some sort
yeah.
of cake flavoring in it.
No, I'm
Oh.
not because I've certainly had that artificial cake flavored
Yeah.
stuff,
Oh,
and it's it's that kind of sickly sweet
That makes
kind
you
of
feel-
vanilla-y.
semi nauseous just saying it. Cake
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah, this doesn't have that. Certainly,
Okay.
but
Mhm.
it's okay. It's okay.
I see.
I'm gonna put that down as okay. What I was gonna say though,
Yeah.
is you know what today is
What's that?
as we record on this the 13th of November, 2022. This is the 10-year anniversary of the final day of the Nintendo Power offices being opened.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
It was 10 years ago today that that me and the other folks on Nintendo Power locked the doors and left for the final time, having completed issue 285, I believe was the final Nintendo Power.
Okay.
So there we go. 10
Pour
years
one
without
out.
Nintendo Power.
Pour a fruit quake out
Yeah.
for Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
You might be pouring that out later just to
Yeah, who knows where that's going to end up.
yeah.
But we'll see.
10 years.
10 years.
Okay. I miss the golden age of video game magazines.
Well, yeah.
Nintendo Power especially. Like I
Yes.
really when that first showed up, it was amazing. Because there was no
Mhm.
internet. You had like this monthly drop of video game news and
Yep.
you poured over those issues like
You
you were
bring
memorizing them.
you
Like,
bring an
never
issue
had
to
one.
school.
you never
I
had a
never-
subscription to Nintendo Power or any
No.
of the magazines.
No, we where I was at that time in my life with family and stuff, I couldn't afford subscriptions to mags and stuff. I never got them. I only got them like grocery shopping if they were on the shelf.
yeah,
Maybe every once in a while I could get one. And I definitely remember the time. I think it's what really brought me into GameStop. Like being able to get that magazine every month, like going to GameStop was a big deal. And I remember the PlayStation ones that came with demo discs.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
an easy sell for me. I'd be like, hey, like, can we get this one? It's got a game in it. It's $6. It's like, can we just have that? But I didn't catch on to Nintendo Power until near the end. When I was in high school and could shop for myself. That's kind of when I caught on.
At the end of Nintendo Power, when I was in high school.
Yeah, and the internet
making Phil feel old.
the internet was full. Yeah, the internet was in full swing. Like we were kicking around on our T-Mobile sidekicks. Like
without a care in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's good stuff.
The more I have that aftertaste in my mouth, the less I like it.
That's why I asked.
Yep.
Cinnamon not agreeing with you.
That's just
Now you have to live with that mistake.
Oh,
I mean,
You
I
did
don't.
that.
I have a whole shelf full of Switch games right here. I can just pop a couple of those in and swish them around. We'll get rid of that.
That will take care of it. Even just one will
Get
take
rid of
The
that
fact-
new taste.
The fact that you say like that will get rid of the worst taste tells me all I need to know about the Mountain Dew Fruit Quake. You're like, I'd
Yes.
rather suck on a Switch game.
Oh man.
Yes. All right.
Yeesh.
Let's talk about some video game news, shall we?
Okie dokie.
Let's.
Control 2 is a confirmed in development title. Remedy is developing. 505 Games is going to be publishing. It is happening. It's in development.
I thought we knew that. Didn't they have that blog post last year?
I think they did, but now they made it even more.
I don't think we knew the publisher. I think
But
that might have
505
been
had-
in question.
They had done things with Remedy before, so
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see exactly what's new, but
Yeah.
we know for sure it's happening.
I'm excited. I loved Control. So,
That's
I
exciting.
played
Yeah,
it.
and it has encouraged me to go back and reinstall Control Ultimate Edition on my Xbox because I have not played through that game. I started it,
Mm.
and then something else came out, and I got distracted. But I did have a lot of fun with it, so I'm going to try to go back to it.
It is very good.
Yeah, and I really want to play the Alan Wake remaster, not on Switch because I hear that port is not good, but I'll probably pick that one up in some of these sales that are coming up. I'm sure it'll be on sale.
Oh
for-
yeah, you get it
super
for
cheap.
$4 here in a week and a half.
yeah. Looking forward to that. But hey, we also got an Indie World showcase last week, and the biggest news to come out of that has to be Rogue Legacy 2.
Don't you even try.
Right?
No, wrong.
Oh wait,
Hallelujah.
Inscription as part of the sizzle reel.
Sizzle reel.
is something
One of
that
the
is
highlight
also
games of the year.
available
They're
on
like, oh, and
Switch.
this thing's coming. Moving on.
I know. I thought for sure Inscription would get like its own little thing because it's such a popular game, but it was just.
I
in the
did
sizzle
too. I
reel.
thought
Oh,
it was
wow.
like a yeah. I thought it was strange, especially with the games that they did highlight. I was like, that's weird.
That is weird. Yeah. But no, I'm talking about Sports Story. We
Now we're
have a
talking.
release date for Sports Story. It's coming out in December, so not even that long to wait
Mm.
for the sequel to Golf Story. I'm looking forward to that a lot.
You know,
I
what we
am
didn't have to wait
so
for
freaking excited.
at all. Rogue Legacy 2.
Oh,
Hmm.
yes.
Shadow dropped.
Shadow dropped with an update to the game on all platforms. Well,
Exactly.
PC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go heel there. I was expecting because it already came out on other platforms first.
No, it should be on every platform.
And you'll buy it on every platform.
Everything.
Sure.
You'll rebuy it
Everyone.
on Quest 2. They did a VR version.
Oh man, I'd buy it. You know I would.
That'd be pretty neat.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you a big VR person, Donnie?
No, I don't
No?
currently have one. I want
Oh.
to say yes because I've had them all.
Mhm.
I've definitely gone through them all. I like VR. I really do. I really into Beat Saber and kind of a lot of the party games, but even more so. I've played all the Star Wars games. I did Alex. You know, I've played them all. I really love Pistol Whip and
That's great.
there was the PlayStation one, with all the guns and stuff. I can't remember the name, but it was fantastic as well.
So
Um,
on PSVR 2, where are you currently sitting? 'Cause
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, it's
No?
for a few different reasons. I definitely think the price is too high. Not because of the tech. I think the tech is really good. The price is just too high for the market they're trying to sell to. I think it's too high for the console and all that. But we've seen PlayStation do this premium thing that they're doing, so I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. I 100% expected it to be over $500. Saw the internet going crazy. I was like, this is exactly what they've planning on doing. Like, I saw this coming from a mile away. I think it's a bad move. My thing with VR, specifically with PlayStation VR, by the way, we buried the lead with Sports Story, is
That's true.
I have never felt satisfied with the pipeline of video game software that's coming to any VR headset. And Quest has the best pipeline available by a significant margin compared to the PlayStation. And even with the Quest, it would go unused for weeks at a time. Now, obviously, we podcast about video games. I would call us the enthusiast. We are crunching through tons of video games. Like, we consume video games. So I'm looking for, that content of knowing what I'm going to be playing every couple weeks, at least every month. And VR just isn't there, like it's got experimental stuff you can dabble with and come and go. But like, if you're really looking to, I want to play VR, say 25 hours a month, you'd be hard pressed to find a good set of quality content. And on the PlayStation side, like I said, Quest is better at that. The PlayStation side, there were long droughts in between on PlayStation VR. And I just worry about PlayStation if they have, I don't know if it's the will or the investment to support VR the way that I want it to be and support PS5 at the same time. I kind of look at it, and I hate to even say it, but it kind of reminds me of Vita. Vita would get that 1 or 2 first party game a year and, survive on a bunch of indies and stuff. And that's kind of what they did with PSVR 1. And if I was interested, if I really loved VR or I really loved PlayStation, I was interested in this, that would be my biggest concern. Blood and Truth was the other game. Blood and Truth was excellent on PlayStation VR. Superb. But yeah, that would be my biggest concerns. Like, are they going to give me, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think like if you're going to buy a system, especially an expensive system, but any system, it doesn't matter, expensive system. If you're going to buy a system, don't you want a new game every 90 days? Is that too much to ask for?
I don't think that's too much to ask for. No.
And I don't think PSVR ever delivered that.
No, definitely not. Even when it came to ports of stuff from Quest, like I think they were behind on a lot of that. For me, I'm in the Quest ecosystem at this point, and I bought enough games on that where I don't want to leave that ecosystem.
You would just be rebuying them on another.
I know. Yeah. Like you look at the 11 games that they announced the other week, and it's like, all right, Quest.
Exactly.
Quest.
Because that's who's investing. I mean, Facebook is investing in VR, and it kind of feels like PlayStation is dabbling with VR. Like they're around.
Well, they did with that Iron Man game, and then now the Quest has it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, is there going to be a PSVR 2 version of that? Probably not.
And they're not going to stop their stalwart studios from making big Game of the Year contending AAA games for PlayStation 5 to make VR games.
Well, and the other thing is Insomniac. So Insomniac did a bunch of VR games for Oculus. They're on their PC headset. They're not Quest games, but they did a bunch of VR games. It's like, all right, so Insomniac has the VR chops. They probably have a team doing VR stuff. Where is Insomniac's VR game for PSVR 2? Like that would be pretty damn cool if they did something. But
Spider-Man, they're going to make Spider-Man instead.
So yeah, I mean priorities. Yeah, that has a lot more upside, right? I mean that totally makes sense. But
you have to.
But and with the Quest, I can hook that to my PC and play PC VR games. I'm not going to be able to do that if I buy a PSVR 2.
Have you ever messed with the streaming?
You mean streaming from the PC wirelessly?
Yeah, I hate to throw you a tangent, but you don't have to even hook in. Like
you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to do the cord. You can do it wirelessly too. That is the way I played games on PC, and it's great.
I played Alex that entire way. I played it through Quest, streaming from my PC, just playing it remotely, and it was excellent.
Yeah, I played Lone Echo, which is a really, really fun Quest exclusive game, or not Quest exclusive, Oculus Rift exclusive, and that was a lot of fun as well. So yeah, I'm curious. I mean, the pre-orders open this week, I believe on Tuesday.
Oh, really?
And I registered for it. Let's see if I actually get an invite to pre-order. I don't know that I will pre-order a PSVR 2, but it'll be interesting to see how well that whole thing goes. I'm sure we'll hear about it from Wario 64.
I expect tech-wise people that don't mind the price will be very impressed.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But
do we want a Horizon game that doesn't have Aloy in it? I don't know. Like,
I don't.
It's weird. Yeah. Anyway, Sports Story.
Now we're talking.
Coming out in December. Very excited about that. I mean, how long have we been waiting for Sports Story at this point?
5 years.
Yeah.
Nintendo Shack 1 was a golf story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've got my limited run golf story right there. And if nobody's ever listened to the show, they've never heard the madness that is me and Golf Story. I love golf games, and Golf Story was my favorite golf game in a decade, in a millennium, what it felt like for so long after trudging through so many Tiger Woods remakes and the Golf Club and Hot Shots, like going away and then going into the dumpster. And it was like Golf Story was just breathed so much life into me at the time. And we had always done Nintendo podcast on PSVG, and we even called them Nintendo Shack, but it was all kind of a part of like this master feed thing we're doing. And we, in 2017, we decided to spin out. I guess we'd gotten popular enough to the point where people were like, we just want to listen to this show or that show. We don't see all the shows. So we started to spin them out into separate feeds, and we spun out Nintendo Shack. It was the first one we spun out with, and the very first episode in the podcast series was Nintendo Shack 1 Golf Story, where we spent an hour talking about how much we love Golf Story. And I've played it 3 or 4 times now. And I've been waiting this game in every one of these indie directs for the last 2 years. And I've been doing all the sidebar game tweets and stalking them. And it's like, please tell me. And I woke up last Wednesday saying I was hopeful. I posted the thing. I was like, I'm hopeful, but I don't want to say it. I'm not going to speak it into existence. But I was surprised with the release date, but I thought they were going to announce it. I wasn't surprised with the announcement. I thought that they were going to reintroduce this to Sports Story, and I thought they would say coming this spring. Like, you know, let's rev the engine for this game again, and let's get people talking about it again. And I was completely shocked, and they're like, and it's out in 4 weeks. I was like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Because that's what I think of when I think December. I don't know what day it'll come out. 14th. I think golf game, you know, like it's just, it behooves me, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited that they're releasing. I can't wait to buy it, and I'll buy whatever limited run stupid edition comes with it. And I'm sure I'll wait 3.5 years before I get it and all of that jazz. I'm all in.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a nice capper to the Indie World showcase. I thought it was an all right Indie World showcase. Like, not great. Like, a lot of games that are not for me.
That's been my take on the last 4 Indie Worlds.
Yeah, there were a couple that look cool. That Blanc game looked interesting. That's
I think Goodbye World looks endearing.
Which one?
Goodbye World.
Goodbye World.
It was the game of, it's like a story of 2 game developers. It looks kind of like a Game Boy game. And they're making a game, so you kind of play the little games they're making, I assume, in the form of mini games, like a little platformer, a little Tetris thing. And then in between, then you play like a narrative adventure game of them dealing with life and struggles while they attempt to make their game together. And it's like a relationship. So you follow them on their jobs and they have conversations. And I was like, that's really cute and kind of a good fit. There's a demo for it on PC, which I downloaded. If I wasn't playing nothing but Sonic at the time, I'd already played it by now. But I'm looking forward to playing the demo as soon as I can. But I thought that was the other one that stuck out to me. But yeah, the last 4 or 5 of these Indie World showcases, we keep getting a lot of cooking games, a lot of turn-based RPGs, and a lot of puzzle games.
A lot of very arty games too. There was that Once Upon a Jester game that had a lot of singing that I just tuned out. But Have a Nice Death looks good. That's, you know, Metroidvania style platformer. That looks fun. Little to the Left got another spotlight. I think this was in a previous Indie World showcase.
That looks really neat. Not my cup of tea, but I've met several people, including my wife, that would really get into something like that.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game where you basically, like, it presents you with a bunch of objects and you have to figure out how to order them. And sometimes there are multiple ways to organize everything. But the catch is that there's a cat that occasionally will come in and screw up the order with its paw or its tail. And so I got a copy of that for my daughter, who has really been enjoying the cat aspect of it.
I feel like anybody that has like that kind of organization bone, right, that little OCD-ness that wants to scratch that itch, could get lost in a game like that.
completely. Also, let's talk about Pepper Grinder.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Pepper
Devolver.
Grinder.
There we go.
Which I was like, let this be a shadow drop, please. But no, it's a
Here's-
2023 game.
Here's an interesting looking one.
Yeah, that looks kind of like a Drill Dozer spiritual sequel thing, maybe. That's
Yeah,
what I
looks
heard a lot of
good.
people saying.
Same.
Platformer
you gotta-
where you use a big
You
drill.
got a young gal with a drill,
Yeah,
boring
hat
through
or
stuff.
a head.
So
Yeah.
you're
like
gonna
what
get
is
those
it? The
comparisons.
girl's name is Pepper, and then Grinder is the name of the drill.
Okay,
If I took that
is that accurate?
video
No idea.
correctly, yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes. Grinder is the name of the drill.
okay,
Pepper is the name of the main character. Yeah,
okay.
so it's on my wish list. Releasing in 2023. Very
Yeah,
excited
that looks
about
good.
But then, yeah,
I play everything
Inscription-
Devolver. So
With,
if it's got the Devolver logo on it, I'm
Yeah, they do.
Here
good
They're
stuff.
really on a tear with a lot of really good titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, look at- there
Cult
you
of
go.
Lamb. Yeah.
You got the
very,
plush in the
very-
background there too.
I love the game.
Indeed.
That is a good game.
It is a great game. Yeah. But so yeah, a lot of good indie stuff coming. There was that watercolor summer vacation thing that looked kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say the name. Dordogne,
I think you did a good job.
something like that.
Nailed it.
Anyway. Nailed it. But anyway, a lot of good indie titles coming out on Switch. It's good to see that. Let's talk about this. So Lego, you know how they have their little submit ideas thing. They are no longer accepting Zelda-based submissions.
Ah,
Legend of Zelda because of a license. Something. What was it called? A license
this is
conflict
to their Lego ideas.
to Lego ideas. Yes.
Okay.
So, Phil, you are our resident Lego master, so to
If you-
speak.
If you look right there, if you're
You call
watching on
him
YouTube,
A master builder.
that right there, that's the back of Lego Bowser.
Lego
I'm
Bowser
in the
right
process
there.
of putting him together.
Yeah. So, what does a license conflict mean? Have you ever seen this with anything else?
Do I look like a
submitted to
Lego lawyer?
ideas? Yes, I believe that's your nickname, the Lego lawyer.
The Lego lawyer. Watch my YouTube rants. Where I stand in front of a big
Yes.
wall of Lego merchandise.
Lego
and-
Law.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Ring the bell.
Oh my goodness. I have no idea what this means. I do know.
Have you ever seen anything like this before with
I'm
anything
confused.
else?
Let me ask. They
Yes.
weren't selling anything, right?
No.
Okay.
This is an unprecedented event in the world of Lego. This is unlike anything that AFOLs have seen in the past, in the present, and indeed the future.
Wait, what was that terminology you just used? I'm lost.
The AFOLs?
Oh, yeah, that one.
The AFOLs, of course. The adult fans of Lego,
Oh,
CJ.
I should have known.
The
Should have known.
Why am I even on this show with
Ah.
you if you don't know?
It's like you don't even know them.
You're probably not even familiar with snot building techniques, are you?
Snow. No, snow. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Studs not on
unprecedented.
top. That's what snot stands for.
What is that?
Studs not on top.
Studs not on top.
We're referring
not.
to the little Lego stud, the little bumps on the top of the bricks.
Yeah.
Things you collect in the Lego games. I'm following. I'm tracking.
Okay.
That's also true. Anyway, I don't necessarily know what this means. I do not know if this means that there is maybe they already have the license secured, maybe they're planning something, maybe they are,
Reading is Zelda Lego.
or maybe they're not. Maybe they are specifically not
But it would be
going
so
to be.
strange for them to just not take the idea.
Well, they have done this sort of thing in the past because the Lego Ideas program, the idea behind it, the idea behind the ideas is that fans can create their own sets and they post them to the site, and then other fans will vote for them.
Okay.
And if your
Now that makes
project
some sense.
gets, I believe it's 10,000 votes, then it will sort of move up the ranks. And then there's a time period, I think, is it like every 4 months, every 6 months, something like that. Lego will gather all the 10,000 voted ideas and compile them and say, we are going to officially look at these, and our expert master builders will consider them. They'll obviously consider which ones they think will sell. They will have to consider licenses if there is a license set, and then they will make one of those sets or one or more of those sets a reality, or sometimes they don't make any. And I think that may have happened once where they didn't choose any. But yeah, we've gotten a lot of the recent NASA sets have come out of this program. A lot
Lego,
of
the Office, Seinfeld.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Sonic the Hedgehog set.
Mhm.
Yeah, those were all
Was the Mario set Lego idea, or is that just
No.
them working with Nintendo?
yeah, that was just them with Nintendo.
Okay.
And even like the Sonic set, they had previously worked with Sega for Lego Dimensions,
Right.
because Sonic was in that game, and there was indeed a Sonic minifigure made for Lego Dimensions, and then that just got expanded on through ideas. I do know that in the past, Lego has come out and told the Lego Ideas community that don't submit ideas for things that we have a license for, because of course, Lego gets the Ghostbusters license, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of people submitting like Ghostbusters ideas, and they're like, well, we have this license. We already, we have these ideas. You don't need to tell us these ideas. And in fact,
Yeah.
that sort of thing can cause problems if Lego decides, oh, we're going to make a certain license set based on a license we have, and then someone is like, oh, but I submitted that idea
Yeah.
Right.
you're
Makes sense.
stealing my concept. And it's like, well, no, we're just taking advantage of this license that we've paid for.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So I have no idea.
Could be that. Could
What-
be something entirely different. Who
Who
knows?
The Zelda Lego set makes a lot of sense, because I imagine, knowing the little that I know of Lego, that they could reuse a lot of stuff that they've already done.
Yeah.
Like, they've done castles and knights and stuff like
Oh,
for
yeah.
1,000 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be very hard for them to spin up a Hyrule castle set, like that. I imagine
Yeah.
that'd be pretty quick.
Yeah.
I will say, I hope that they don't make Lego Legends of Zelda sets,
Yeah.
because
Scalpers.
I would buy them.
Yeah, definitely. I would not. I have not bought any Lego sets, and I would buy one of those.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I was furious when they made that Optimus Prime set, because I had to buy it.
Now you've got to do it.
Yeah.
yeah, you
Just
really
good
sound
shelf candy.
furious, Phil.
What's that?
You seem very mad, very angry
No. Yeah. I
that you have to purchase
He
something.
took it personally.
don't make me. I mean, again, I had to buy that big old Bowser set. What
Yeah.
could I do?
You're like, no, Lego, stop it. You're
What are you
breaking the
doing?"
bank here.
What are you doing?
That's right.
There we go.
Anyway,
Yes.
so Gears of War. Apparently, there are going to be some stuff Gears related coming to Netflix, including a movie and an animated series, and possible Dave Bautista involvement there. So yeah, another video game being made into a TV series and movie. What do you
It worked
think?
for Halo?
It worked. It did it? Wait, did it work for Halo?
I've
it
never
did.
I've never
Yeah.
watched the Halo show, but I've never heard anything good about it.
I have several friends that really like it. I also have
Okay.
never watched it, but it was like the #1 watch thing on Paramount for 3 months. So I think it worked for
That's
Paramount.
true.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was
Okay.
pushing Paramount subs. I'm just not that into Halo, but I am so into Gears, CJ. So
Mhm.
I'm here for it. I've got my Lancers. I can't wait to pull them down, and I'll sit there and watch it. I'm very excited. I think Dave will probably get into the project somehow, even if not as a main character, at least as a cameo. But I can't imagine that Netflix would be resistant to such a star being so forthright about wanting to join. I mean, you could do a
Right.
lot worse than Dave Bautista. It's not, as I was saying on PSVG last week, it's not like they're looking for a Matthew McConaughey type performance or anything like that. They're not like, we need like 6 meatheads to don armor and do, Gears of War stuff. Like, why not Dave Bautista?
Yeah.
I do like Dave Bautista.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, he's in the
who
Guardians
doesn't?
and stuff. Like, I think that's just good marketing. But I'm oddly excited for the animated series. Having watched Castlevania and Edge Runners, I love the idea of what they could do with Gears. And I think Gears lends itself really well to something like that. As long as it's adult and gory and bloody and all that, I'm here for it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like that's what they're going to do. They did specifically say adult animated series. So, yeah, that's kind of exciting.
And Gears has a better story than Halo anyway. So,
there's a story in either game. I'm not
absolutely. Here I was making shots at Halo fans. You taking shots at me? How dare you?
Either of those games, I play them, but I don't pay attention to the story at all. It's just
call me when there's a brute force animated series.
Brute Force?
Was that the name of that game?
You mean back in the original Xbox?
Yeah, the Halo Killer.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, but wasn't Brute Force by Microsoft anyway?
I don't know.
Was that
Who cares?
Was that a BioWare game?
It's the Halo Killer.
Might have been. Yeah. Does anybody use that terminology anymore? This is the blank killer.
Brute Force.
Something I know of.
Brute Force. Yeah, that was a magazine cover specific thing.
Microsoft Game Studios.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, back in the day. Well, anyway, I think it's time to move along to what we've been playing.
Oh,
and we're going to start with our guest, Donnie. What have you been playing, sir?
Well, it's pretty short and simple. The only thing I've played since it came out has been Sonic Frontiers, which I am enjoying quite a bit. I'm actually loving it a lot, to the point that I called it my favorite Sonic game today, and I don't feel bad about it at all. I don't think.
Now, were you planning on picking this up before? Yeah. Like, had you seen all the trailers and you were ready for it? Hyped?
I was way early on this one. I get to be the person that says "I told you so," because while the internet was collectively hating it and talking about how it should never exist and all that, I was like, "This looks great." But I love open world games. I always have, and I like map games and all these games that gaming Twitter and stuff is collectively like push back against. Like, these are kind of my jam. These are my comfort food. And from the very first time I saw Sonic Frontier, and I'm not a Sonic fan. Actually, the folks that know me know that I kind of don't like Sonic, period. It's almost the opposite. Anti-Sonic fan, which should be a surprise to nobody that they made a different type of Sonic game, and now I like it. I really enjoyed Sonic Mania, and I enjoyed Sonic games of the past, but I'm not that into the Sonic games, especially like the old ones, like back in the day. And I can just end this tangent. I just never really thought Sonic really held up to Mario, like, at all. I was like, these are not good.
Well, especially during 3D.
Yeah, I was like, these are not comparable. Like, one of these games are really, really great, and the other one's just like good, but not as good.
They just never figured out how to do Sonic in 3D for the longest time.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. And I've had a lot of swings and misses too, right? I bought my kids, Sonic Lost World and Sonic Boom and Sonic Rise of Lyric, and like there are a lot of bad Sonic games too, right? But I was excited about this because I understood the concept and I thought it would work well. And even after everybody hated it and didn't like it and all that, I was still on board, and I saw the combat trailers, and honestly, the whole time along the way, I was like, this looks great. And when I actually got my hands on it, it is really, really good. The other night I was hanging out with Sean on stream. I played Sonic Frontiers for me 5 hours, doing nothing, just clearing the map, just doing little checkpoints. It's such a great video, like podcast video game. Listen to music video game. I would almost like, it's not similar outside of these open worlds. You go around and do these mundane tasks, but it's not like that unfamiliar of an experience than like Forza Horizon. I play Forza Horizon in a very similar way, where I'll just turn on tunes or listen to a podcast or hang out, and I'm just let's go to that icon and do that thing. Let's go to the next icon and do that thing. Let's go to the next one and the next one and the next one. And it's varied. There's a lot of diversity there. You've got these gigantic titans in the area that have like these Shadow of the Colossus type battles with Sonic, and the traversal plays a big part into each different enemy. You've got to approach them differently, and the combat is surprisingly fun. It's not overwhelming. It's kind of a button masher, but every enemy has their own strategy. So you're not doing the same thing over and over again. But the thing that hooks me is I do have this trait about a video game. There's a certain type of video game that'll really, I don't know, just kind of, I find them almost addictive. And I love video games, specifically open world games that present you with a puzzle and then don't tell you anything about them. And when I find those types of games, Assassin's Creed Valhalla was one of them. Breath of the Wild is an obvious one. But when I find those sorts of games, I get lost because I see the shiny crystal in the middle of the sky, and I'm like, how do I get up there? Like, obviously, there's a reason that that's up there. How do I do it? Forza Horizon, right? You find all these billboards and stuff. They're on top of power line. How do I get up there? What car? What do I have to do? How do I have to do that? And I just get lost just doing that. And that's all I've been doing. It's just going around clearing puzzle to puzzle to puzzle, trying to figure out how to do that stuff. And that's such a like side part of the game, because in between doing this, have you guys played it yet at all?
Yes.
I have played a bit.
Okay. All right. So you guys know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah. I'm on the second island now, the desert island.
Yes. Once you start unlocking everything, you start to open up actual Sonic levels. And then you can actually play Sonic levels, which has a lot of, I imagine for a lot of different people, not me, a lot of speed running fun and things like that. And like, that's the least of my concerns. Like, I just wanted to get all this stuff and do all these things. It's just good comfort food. So I'm really digging it. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised with the open world because, they said this is an open world Sonic game. And I immediately thought, oh, well, that's not going to be very good at all. But in actuality, like in practice, I think it works surprisingly well for a lot of the reasons that you stated. It's like you see something on the horizon, or you see like an Amy heart or something up there, and you're like, okay, like work back. All right, there's the rail that I need to grind on, and there's the things that I need to target and bounce up there. And then you go do it, and it's satisfying to do that and clear that stuff.
Aren't some of those bigger ones not just satisfying, impressive? Like, I'm impressed by the design of some of these. When Sonic goes bouncing around and goes off of the different direction, I'm like, man, this is like, there've been several of these where I'm like, I need to take a video of that. Like, people need to see, like, this is cool. Like, this is really neat. And you see all the quick camera cuts and everything. Like, this is just rad. It's a fun game.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, they do a lot of fun stuff with the presentation. And then the Titans, I didn't even really realize that was going to be such a big part of the game, where there are some just lumbering around the stage that you're in on the island. And then, of course, there's like a final boss for that particular zone. And, but I've done all of the ones on the first island and have done like one on the second. And they're different enough where you have to use a different strategy, but it's sort of familiar to where, okay, like on the first island, there was this thing that I had to watch for. Now on the second island, I'm like, all right, like what sort of thing can I climb on this boss to get up to the top and do damage? Like, so I thought that was really interesting. And the boss of that first island is really fun. Like once you realize what you have to do to kill him, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It still does suffer from a lot of the things that even back, Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube, I thought those games suffered from like accidental deaths, like you accidentally hit the button and speed off a cliff and fall and die.
I've done that a few times.
That happens in this game too. I'm playing on PS5, so you have fast enough load time where you're right back into it pretty quick enough that it's not like a game killer. Like back in the Dreamcast days, GameCube days, what have you, like those moments where you spun off a cliff and died repeatedly and had to then wait 20 seconds for it
Yeah.
to reload. Like that's gone. So that is like helping this game a whole lot. And I still think Sonic in 3D is hard to do well. I think there's still some control issues, especially when you're like scaling some of the larger structures. Like sometimes I accidentally run the opposite way, and controlling while you're moving so fast in 3D is not great still. But they've done a lot of things where, like, some of the bosses, like, you're in a particular lane and you sort of swap between 3 lanes.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing. So they've done a lot of things to make it more palatable.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue movement wise is anytime you need to be very precise and accurate, because just Sonic carries so much momentum. He's so floaty. You know,
Yeah.
I've found myself jumping over something that I've been trying to land on a lot, or things like that. But in the regards to like the precision with the bosses, I agree with you. I think you're right, especially when you're trying to, like, run the path, you can run into issues. But they do give you some ability to offset that a bit with the ability to air dash and stuff like that. So if you get off, like,
That's
you
true.
can kind of find your way back and things like that. And I think that's, I mean, it's definitely they did that on purpose. I think they're trying to smooth that out as best they can.
Yeah, it does have that feel of Breath of the Wild where you're just collecting
Stuff.
a lot of stuff. Like and the world feels like there's always something there. Like if something looks like something should happen here, it is there.
Yeah.
Like there's no like blank piece of land where you're just like, what is this? Like there's nothing here to do. There's always something to do.
I'm still in the first island, and I'm generally impressed after, like, the other night I sat there and played for hours, just kind of in the same little region, just doing everything. And then when I got the entire region done, I was like, that's impressive. Like, I have, like, all of these things, eventually you'll start to build out where they almost feel connected. I've had to use 2 or 3 different puzzles to solve the 4th puzzle to get the other thing to do the tower. And I was like, there's a lot here just design wise. It's not like they just threw a bunch of stuff and let Sonic run on top of it. Like, it's thought out and put together well, much better in that regard, much better than I was expecting. That's a surprise to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Let me ask you a question, because I've just started this game.
Yeah.
I've barely scratched it. So I'm still running around, and the overworld map, it seems like kind of dour, kind of mopey.
It
Like
is.
It starts off and it's all,
you mean like with rain and
it's all like overcast
skies,
and it's raining, and the music, it sounds like, I posted this on Twitter last night, where it just sounds like the sad Minecraft music, and it's like, and the game, it, like you're saying, it seems fun. I was enjoying it. And certainly once when you go into like the sort of standard 3D Sonic levels, there's like those shrines or whatever that you get the gears to activate.
Yeah.
And then like the music kind of gets all like, more poppy and
those
more
levels get rather impressive too.
Yeah.
Like the more, some of them
but like
are really cool.
the overworld, it's just like this is
Seattle.
Yeah, this is just gloomy.
Yeah.
This isn't
It
my
clears.
Sonic.
It clears
up.
The sun comes out.
This isn't rolling around with the speed of sound.
The music,
where's
the
that
music's
stuff?
not going to change. It's got that kind of
Yeah.
ethereal Breath of the Wild type of piano ditties and stuff.
That's
At least through the first island. I don't know about the second island.
The second island's the same. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not the vibe I
But
want out
not
of Sonic.
there's not rain in the second night.
Sure.
This self-serious. This is the kind of crap that leads to him making out with human princesses, right? This all like,
I
let's
suppose you're
pretend
right.
Sonic the Hedgehog's a serious thing for serious people. Like, come on,
Oh,
man.
have you read all the fan fiction that's on the internet? There are a
No.
lot of serious Sonic.
No,
fans
that's
out
what's led to this.
there. The sun does come out, Phil.
Okay,
Fairly
but it never
shortly.
gets like, but it's always still like, no, this is a dramatic Sonic game.
I don't
gotta-
think so.
Yeah,
No,
neither do I.
You get to Big the Cat and you do a little fishing, and
Okay.
the sun will come out.
Okay,
And you go through a couple cutscenes and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I'm not getting that vibe.
Yeah.
okay, because the tone at the start of the game just feels like really not at all Sonic, and I'm just like,
There's
mean,
like,
like I
I
said,
understand exactly what you're saying. There are hints of like Majora tone there a
yeah,
little bit. You'll
Yeah.
run into that on a few occasions.
Game
It wants to
seems-
be Breath of the Wild in a lot of ways.
It does. It tries.
game seems fun, but it's like, yeah, I don't want my Sonic
Like I
to
said,
feel
dude,
like
it's a great podcast music game. Throw your headphones on, play your
I can't do.
80s
I
electric
cannot.
metal, your
I cannot
synthwave,
play.
and go
video
run
games
and
like
do
that.
stuff, man. Go get after it.
I cannot. I cannot play video games like that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do.
Oh man,
Yeah.
You know,
it was
throw on
perfect. I was hanging out, listening to them chat, and just clearing the map. Not
I
even a
can't.
care
I
in the
can't do
mind.
that. I need my game sounds as I'm playing the games. My brain doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But I mean, like I said, I was having fun playing it.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, here we go. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Put on our serious faces, everyone. It's that lovable blue hedgehog. It's the blue dude with the tood.
It's funny because when like if you just started, you're not that far away from a couple cutscenes that are like quite the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it was so funny because I was almost in the same breath. I was like, oh man, this is like serious. And then I think I got into my first 2 or 3 Amy cutscenes. I was like, this isn't serious at all. This is dumb. Like let's get back to let's get back to running around finding stuff.
Well, that's the curious thing about it. So you mentioned, the cutscenes with Amy and how dumb the story is, and you're absolutely right. It is.
You just skip past that.
Exceedingly dumb. Is my question is this a good Sonic game on purpose, or is it an accident that this is a pretty
Ooh,
good Sonic game?
That's a fair take, actually. They may have just backed into this.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't know.
I think it's good. It's good because of the gameplay.
It is good.
It's better.
The gameplay is strong.
Right. It's
Okay.
better than its story and all that. I think they were just they probably started with like an open world little demo and started building gameplay out of it. And they were like, well, we got to make some sort of motivation for him doing this. But that is clearly not the point here.
Yeah. It's a good game though. I'm really enjoying it more than I thought I would. Honestly.
Did you guys see that? It's $39 today.
I did see that.
Yeah.
So fast.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go
seriously.
fast. It didn't make it
all the
one
ways.
weekend.
Yeah. That's why I held off on Gotham Knights, because that thing's gonna be like $20 quick.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, what else you got, Donnie?
That's all I've been playing this week. I did play a lot of Bayonetta and Mario Rabbids last week, and if you guys want to talk about it, we can. But my takes aren't great. Like Switch fans won't be happy. I love Bayonetta 3. I really do. I think it's my favorite Bayonetta. It's really good. I didn't expect the story to be as good as it is. The new Bayonetta, I think, is every bit as good as the old Bayonetta character portrayal, but the action cutscenes, the environments, the action, the use of the demons and the monsters in the combos and everything make for a thrilling time. It's just terrible that it runs on Switch. It's just really, really bad. The best example I could give is there are several times I'm playing, like actual playing, not cutscenes, where I'm playing the game, where Bayonetta's face just looks like a Picasso. It's just a smudge. There's just pixelous features there. It's a humanoid, but you don't know who, or you can't tell anything from it, right? Frame rate, like performance wise, I don't have a whole lot. It's okay. It's I've seen it get a little choppy at times, but it's playable, especially in the action scenes. It's very playable. But the resolution is just so poor, even docked. It's just so poor, and it made me to this point where I think I've stopped playing it. And I hate to sound that way. I know when you talk about it, I feel like it sounds snobby. I can hear myself like it sounds so snobby. And it's not that it's snobby, it's that I want it to be better than that. I want to play this on a system that plays it better than that. Like I'm enjoying the game so much that I want it to be better than that. Like that's the thing. It's like, man, if I could just play this on PC, oh, this might be my game of the year. I'm having so much fun. Why does it have to look like this? Why is it, that's unfortunate. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, Mario Rabbids looks great. And I just am kind of bored with it. For some, I tried to figure out reasons. I tried to sit back and be very self-analytical into why I love the original Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Mm.
I adore, is one of my favorite exclusives. Had so much fun with it. The second one just isn't there for me. I'm not feeling that hook.
Do you think part of it is just, the first one came out in that first year of Switch? This one's coming out when we already have like so much to play on Switch, and it doesn't feel special anymore, right?
It's possible. I definitely think just where I am personally with the Switch right now might have a little bit to do with it, but I don't think that's it. I think the first one was way more like self-aware and funny and witty and made fun of Mario with the cracks and the rabbits and stuff. I don't think the second one does as much. Like I'm just not as into when they're talking in the dialogue and the cutscenes. Like I'm just like this. It's fine. It's very cartoony. It feels very like made for kids, but it just doesn't feel like it has that like that extra quality. Like there are sometimes you get those animated movies that are fine, like good for the kids, but have that extra bit for the adults. Like understand it. Like this feels like that's lacking that a little. Also, in the first one, you controlled the little Roomba robot that slid around, right? And you would go forward and you would plan out your attacks. And this one, you actually control your characters. And like you have a space that you can move in, just like with the Roomba. But like you could just freely run around in there as much as you want. And that feels like it was made to make the game a bit more approachable, maybe. But it feels like it takes some of the tactics away for me. Like it just doesn't give me that Fire Emblem, that XCOM, that type of gratification. Because now I'm just running around infinitely in circles as Mario, and I can run over there and dash the guy, and I can run all the way back over and hide. And it's like, I don't know. I think the open world part, or I don't call it open world, but I mean, there are big areas. Have you guys played it?
No,
I have not.
So they're a big area. The overworld is big, like Mario 3D World, big type of areas. And in those areas, you can run around and there's side missions everywhere. And there's little puzzles everywhere and content. And in that regard, it feels very Mario-like. In the first game, the overworld just existed to get you to the next level. And I remember every now and then you would come across a puzzle, right? And you could solve it. But it was just get you to the next thing. And this game has more like that Mario 3D World where you've got the main mission to advance and go to the next planet and the next thing. But then here are like 15 other things you can do while you're here. So if you're really digging it, I imagine you're like, this is great. It's so much more. But for me, I'm like, it just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel as tight. I'm trying to come up with reasons, but ultimately it may not be for any of those things. It's just not doing it for me this time. I'm just not, I played this game, the first game, Kingdom Battle, I played until 4 a.m. to beat it. That's how I was into that game. I just couldn't put it down. And this game, I can't stop thinking to myself, like, I'd rather watch a movie or look at Twitter or play something out. Like, it's just, I'm just not as into it.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed the first one as well, and I'm kind of ignoring this one, and I don't even know why. It's just like there are other things to play on Switch. I think the first one I played it and enjoyed it, but it was more because there was sort of so little to play on Switch at the time. But yeah, I haven't picked it up yet. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of people enjoying it.
Looks great.
And it does look great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why.
I played through the first 3 worlds. If anybody out there is listening and they're really liking it, I played for the 3 worlds, and just none of the cutscenes, the characters, or the boss moments are memorable or entertaining to me. Whereas I remember so many of the first game. And I loved the Donkey Kong expansion. I played through all of that. I've screamed for years how everybody should play it and get the gold pack and all that.
Yeah.
And this one just doesn't.
That's a shame. That is a shame. All right, is that all you've been playing?
Yeah, that's it. What have you guys been playing?
Phil?
Yes.
You want to tell us what you've been playing?
Oh, but it just started Frontiers like we talked about.
Yeah.
Tell you what I have been playing though is that Rogue Legacy 2 on the Nintendo Switch. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What a delight.
Well, you had already been playing it on PC, but
I've been playing it on
Switch.
PC. I've been playing it on the Xbox. Now I'm playing it on another system.
How much money have you spent into systems to play Rogue Legacy 2 for?
That's the only reason I buy video game systems these days, in the hopes that one day it will be graced with a Rogue Legacy.
Sounds like one of those MasterCard commercials. You know, it's PlayStation 5, $550. PC, $2,350. Switch, $300.
Playing
5 copies of Rogue Legacy 2,
That's
$36.
priceless. That's price. That's the priceless part.
Priceless. Yes.
Being able to play Rogue Legacy no matter
Phil Theobald, endless happiness,
where I am.
priceless.
Boom. It's right there. I adore that game. So yeah, I've just been playing some more of that.
And there was an
I also
update
started
too,
playing-
right? There was an update that they launched at the same time. Is that update any good?
I haven't really seen enough of like the
Or you,
because
you didn't even notice it.
oh no, I you know what, because they did like rebalance some stuff, but because I'm starting over on the Switch,
Oh.
Haven't got there yet.
I don't think I've gotten to any of the stuff that they haven't gotten into the whole meat and potatoes on this version. So
Gotcha.
yes.
All right.
But I did I also picked up the new God of War
Ooh.
Ragnarok.
Or Ragnarok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which did you get this one, CJ?
I have it. I was provided a code.
Okay.
But I have not booted it up yet.
Okay.
I've been spending too much time on Sonic Frontiers.
Same.
I
I have it
understand.
as well, and
Yeah.
I'm just I'm not in a hurry to get to it yet.
Yeah, so I've been playing maybe like not too far into it, maybe like an hour and a half, maybe 2 at this point, but it seems pretty good so far.
Okay.
I am enjoying it. I'll wait to discuss it more because obviously you're going to be playing it at some point,
Yes.
and I think Greg's gonna be playing it as well.
I've got my little motion sickness band here
Oh.
ready to go.
Very nice.
For God of War, because the original God of War on PlayStation gave me motion sickness, and I tried to play it again recently. Still can't do it. I don't know what it is. Even if I like adjust accessibility settings, camera shake, what have you.
Yeah.
I think a large part of it is the camera moves during cinematics are like tracked with the head of the character. And it's like very wobbly.
Okay.
And I can't deal with that. And that's not something you can change in the settings either.
Yeah.
But it's also maybe the perspective of the third person camera, like it's oddly placed. This kind of thing happens to me in the Resident Evil 2 remake as well.
Oh, really?
Like it's a third person camera, but it's pivoting on a different axis than the character is, and it's very disorienting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put on my VR sickness band, the one that like shoots electricity into my wrist, and which it really does. That's how it works.
Wow.
And it like makes my hand like curl up. It does it that much, but it solves the nausea problem in VR anyway. So I'm hopeful that
somebody figured that out.
I don't know. Science, man.
Do you wear this thing that just randomly shocks you?
Yeah.
It doesn't shock you. It just provides an electrical current.
That's
into the bottom of your wrist.
Shocking.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like
CJ.
It doesn't feel like a shock.
It's not shocking me. It's just gently
it
providing electrical current into my body.
It causes your hand to involuntarily curl into a claw.
Correct.
But it's not shocked.
But no, that's not.
It doesn't feel like like an electric shock, but it is.
Well, probably because it's frying that part of your brain that recognizes pain.
Oh, is that what that is? Damn.
That's.
But yeah, and you apply this little gel to your arm so it conducts even more.
Yeah. Well, no,
even better
to conduct the electricity that is being shocked into your body.
Oh,
you're in.
Okay.
Yeah, the gel enhances the shock.
But it works. It works.
Thank goodness.
But I have not yet.
That.
I've not yet seen if it works on God of War for me.
You're going to be wearing that thing. You're going to be pulling some clothes out of your dryer. A stray spark is going to hit the lint that you have backed up after years of neglect.
No.
And you are going to burst into flames.
About that this past like week and a half since we last recorded that show.
Yeah.
So
you cleaned it out?
Yep. Been cleaning it out.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But this thing also charges up the DualShock while I'm playing the DualSense. Yeah. No, it doesn't. I'm kidding.
Yeah, as I say, that's got to be a joke. I was waiting for the punchline. I was like, I'm not
Throws it
biting on
just-
that.
Yeah, it sends that much electricity through his body.
That's right.
I just think of there's a scientist somewhere that was like, I don't know, shocking mice or patients or whatever, and they were like, yeah, it's not solving the problem we were after, but shockingly, everybody says, like it really clears up motion sickness.
What is it? They sell those like the C bands. Have you ever heard of that? Like you put the seasickness bands on your wrists, and
Okay.
they apply pressure to your wrist, and that is supposed to help with a certain
Wow.
level of seasickness.
I did not. I didn't know that motion sickness or nausea was so closely attached to the wrist.
Yeah, apparently it is. And so this is like one level up from that, where it's not just like a thing applying pressure to your wrist, it's
Nope, it's full
applying
electrocution.
electricity to your wrist.
CJ's wife is going to walk in on him playing God of War. He's going to have his two clawed hands. shooting
Wait till it
electric-
zaps him and he accidentally like throws his weapon. He's like, ah!
But I was able to play the Resident Evil 4 VR remake on Quest with fully 3D
really good.
movement using this band.
Okay.
Where I would not be, it would be a vomit circus if I did that normally.
That's awesome, then, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Vomit Circus sounds like a great game.
Sounds like a band name.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Vomit
early
Circus.
90s grunge
Yeah.
band. Yeah, vomit circus.
Oh man, my kid saw me playing some God of War.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Oh, could I play this game?" I'm like, maybe.
I'm starting to get a lot of that from my son as well.
Yeah.
He's 12 and he's like just kind of getting there. I'm like,
I was like, yeah, this game's a little gory. He's like, oh, come on. You let me watch Stranger Things. That gets pretty gory at times. I'm like,
My daughter's watching Let's Plays of Last of Us and loving it.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So,
of course, me being the good father I am, my response after the initial maybe quickly turned into a, well, you should probably play the PS4 one first so you kind of understand the plot. So
yeah. Actually, you got to go all the way back to the PS2.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about that.
Experience.
We're not going to. We don't need to waste our time.
Okay.
Doing that. Not to say those are bad games.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been playing a bit of that. I am enjoying it. Hopefully, I do not bounce off of it because as I've talked about on this show before, I do have a tendency to play God of War games for like half a dozen hours or so, and I always enjoy them.
Yeah.
But then I always kind of end up floating away from them for no real reason in particular, other than I just kind of get distracted with other games, and then I'm
more games.
Never that motivated to go back to them. But
yeah.
But like I said, I am enjoying this, so hopefully I stick with it longer. You do get your blades. The whatever his dual blades on the chains. They probably have a name. You get those pretty early. So
okay.
One thing I am enjoying about the God of War game is during his cinematics, whenever Kratos does something, it's always very intentional and it's always very angrily done, no matter what he's doing. So it's like, oh, someone's at my house. I gotta get my axe off the wall, and there's this, boom, as he grabs the axe and as he yanks it off the thing, or if he puts a cup down on a table, boom, and it just, the whole screen shakes. Everything is very, very measured, very deliberate, very aggressive.
So you're
stern man.
You're now mimicking that in your own life and just taking that fruit quake.
Yeah. Almost drowned myself there trying to imitate Kratos drinking a thing of water. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway. It seems like a fun time.
Okay.
The other thing, the final thing that I've played this week, CJ, I know you've played this.
Yeah.
Donnie, I'm assuming you didn't because you probably would have mentioned it earlier if you had.
Mm.
But I am referring to the hot new classic retro game collections / documentary from the good folks at Digital Eclipse. Full disclosure, I used to work for them. Atari 50, the anniversary celebration,
Yes.
Huh?
which, goodness me,
What?
what?
You stopped to play Atari games?
Yeah, forget this God of War.
First of all, how
What?
dare you?
No.
Show some
How
respect.
dare me? How dare you, sir?
Show some respect. Let me tell you. This Atari 50 collection is incredible. We've talked, of course, about Digital Eclipse's.
$50?
Huh?
It's $50?
No, it's 39, right?
That's
Digital
okay.
anyway.
It's
I'm
what's
looking
thir-
at it. It says $49.99.
There
Oh.
is a deluxe edition that comes with like
that
a
makes
steel
sense.
book
Ah.
that is $50. Mine should
That's
be
a lot
arriving
for some
tomorrow.
Atari games, man.
Donnie, do you not like Atari games? This is what we're finding
Does
out.
anybody
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
do?
Sometimes.
Now look, okay, here's the
You realize
Depends
thing.
what-
video games
depends what
evolve. You
game.
don't have to do this to yourself. Like
Here's the
we
thing.
figured this out. We learned.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking
Oh.
at 2 Atari boxers. Oh my god.
Yes.
CJ,
Uh-huh.
why are you inviting these children on our show who have
They're
no
just making us
perspective
feel old.
or respect for the
Ah.
history of our wonderful industry?
Right.
Isn't there history that okay, you know what? I'm gonna be mean.
Crash.
I'm gonna stop. Yeah, I'm
Now
about to
here's-
say wait. I know a
They
lot about
crash
their
video
history that I
games.
could bring up right now. I don't know if this is the history we should be respecting.
Now here's the thing.
Let's talk about the speaker hat. Let's just, and
The amount of
hotel
games
chain.
that they just like cloned and ripped off or threw license into and repackaged and reskinned and resold.
Now here's the thing.
Yes. Does
About
this have
this.
ET on it? No, it does
What's
not.
that?
It does not have ET on it.
No, it does not have ET on it.
$50 and not even getting E ET.
But what this collection is, of course, is a how many games are on this?
I don't know.
I would hope
Some
there's
of them are-
50.
Some of them are locked.
It's called the Atari 50.
Yeah.
100
It's a lot.
games. Over
It's
100.
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of games. And they
40
are,
of them are the same game in
Oh
different
my
colors.
gosh. What is happening here? I'm on Twitter and I'm talking to like Mike Micah and Steve Frost, the people who made these. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm loving this game. We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about it on
me
the podcast.
Yeah. They're going to listen to this and be like, what happened?
It was an
No,
honor
well,
being invited.
My goodness.
My
Whether-
final appearance.
Mm.
Here's the thing, though.
Oh my gosh.
Whether you grew up with these games or
Right.
not, what I think is interesting about this collection is how it's packaged
That's
as a timeline
exactly.
of Atari history that includes stuff like concept art.
Yes.
It includes little video segments that you can watch
Yes.
or not if you want to. And as it goes through the years, it'll highlight certain games that you can then go ahead and play.
You can dive right in.
And
It is essentially an interactive documentary
that's very true. Yes.
That's
where
cool.
the
It's
history
not
of-
just a collection of Atari games.
Right.
Right.
And we've talked about Digital Eclipse earlier this year released the Cowabunga collection,
Which is
an
great.
incredible collection of the Konami's Ninja Turtle games.
Mhm.
That was really well presented, had so much kind of behind the scenes material, all sorts of design documents and concept art that the public has never seen before.
Yeah.
Presented in a beautiful fashion, and this goes several steps beyond that.
Mm.
In terms of you load up the game, and if you are just interested in the games,
You can get
and
to the game.
clearly
list.
not all of us here are,
Donnie is not.
but
Hey, I'm looking at screens of Gravatar, and it looks pretty damn cool. I've never played Gravatar.
And you can go straight into just a list of the games if you want to just pick and choose what games you want to play.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Or they have the company's history kind of broken up into like 5 or 6 chunks, and you select one of those, and it's the very early days. It goes through all the different eras basically, and it presents you this timeline. And yeah, you can read. They go through this timeline. You can read quotes from the developers, video interviews, and yeah, like CJ said, when it gets to a particularly important game, it's like, oh, here's some information about the game. Here's a picture of the arcade cabinet or the cartridge or whatever. You can zoom in on it, look at it, admire that, and then boom, you hit a button. You're right into the game. You can just play the game as part of this sort of history lesson that you're taking.
And everything
within-
you can save your progress in it and come back to it. You can reset it. You can do like all the usual things. Although I don't think you can rewind.
Does it not have the rewind?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
But that's like the only thing it's missing.
Okay.
Seemingly, and I might be wrong about that.
But it does. Yeah, it goes through the company's entire history, and you got some of their old arcade games, the 2600. Even you get like some
5200.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get some Lynx.
Yep.
You get some Jaguar if you want to subject yourself to that.
Cybermorph.
If you want to
Which
play
I loaded
Cybermorph.
up and was like, oh, I remember this, and it was not good.
I'll tell you what, though, if you get enough LSD in you, I understand it is life-altering.
Great. Yeah.
Atari is back, baby.
But then it has Tempest 2000, which is fantastic. A fantastic game.
That is true.
Real sports football.
It is. It is an incredible product.
It is. I think it's a more incredible product as a documentary.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
as a playable documentary than it is a game collection.
Yes, for sure.
That's the part that's appealing to me. You're kind of getting me there because I love those. We've had so many of these retro documentaries over the last couple of years. It's a really cool way to learn. I'd be down to buy it just to go through the video segments and see that.
Yeah, it is.
Some of the games look pretty good.
It's kind of a shining example of what these retro compilations should be.
Dude, I'm in.
Yeah,
but they could
I'm totally in.
Yeah. See,
there's a game called Ninja Golf.
Uh-oh.
What more do you want?
You play golf and you fight dragons.
Mr. Golf Story over here. It's like, hey.
But I also watched a game called Haunted Houses Reborn.
Oh,
and that looks terrible.
Actually, I was kind of having fun with Haunted Houses.
Is it good?
Reborn.
Because it looks
beyond
recognizable. Like that's a game when I don't know what's happening.
CJ, is this?
Well, Haunted House is a game for the 2600, and they redid it basically with voxel graphics. And I started playing, and I was like, you know what?
I think I'm looking at the original footage because I Googled it, and I just got original footage, and I was
okay. Yeah, because that's one of the other things they did. There's like half a dozen sort of modern updates.
Yeah.
I know.
And some of them are pretty good.
It's Haunted Houses, Neo Breakout, Quadra Tank, Sword Quest Air World, VCTR, SCTR,
Vector Sector. Yeah.
Vector Sector, Yar's Revenge Enhanced. Those are all reimagined titles for this collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Micah did the Yar's Revenge
and Quadra Tank.
Of course, Yar's Revenge, classic Atari 2600 game. One of the ones that, I'll be honest, Atari 2600 games, I'm not going to play them nowadays for more than like a minute or two at a time. It's just like,
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit down and play an hour's worth of combat on the Atari. But Yar's Revenge is one of those few games on the 2600 that I can still play for extended periods and get some enjoyment out of. And I was playing the reimagined one. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was really nice looking. I liked it.
They were really sweet looking UI and menu design and stuff.
Absolutely.
No, it is a top tier presentation, the top tier sort of retrospective on a company that is obviously very, very important in the world of video games. And yeah, it's great. I did order the Steelbook version just because I love the work that Digital Eclipse does with these. So I wanted to kind of have the physical copy, and I wanted to have the Steelbook, the kind of nice display version of it.
Yeah.
But it got delayed a little bit. At least my copy did. So I broke down and bought the digital version too. So
Yeah.
but it's kind of nice to be able to have that on the go at any time. So
Did you buy it on? You bought it on the Switch?
got it on the Switch, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I bought it
again
on
for
PS5.
the portability aspect of it.
Hmm.
So
Mr. Phil,
yes.
I have wish listed it on Steam.
Oh, look at you! See,
Boom.
look at that.
I'm here for Ninja Golf
Everyone should
Yeah.
be here for Ninja Golf.
and Gravatar or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And you know, it's not like these games haven't been collected up before because Atari has done like the flashback packs
Right.
that had a lot of those 2600 games. And you're right, Phil, they're not very replayable, honestly.
Right.
And for me, like part of buying this pack is to check out some of the Jaguar games that I had back in the day,
Yep.
and especially Tempest 2000, and play that again.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know, I rented Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy because I worked at Babbage's at the time and was able to take that home and try it.
Oh,
and
yes.
return it back from whence it came. Because oh god, that's a terrible game. But it's
Yeah,
fun
100,
to revisit
100
some
plus
of that stuff.
games
100 plus games.
on this
Yeah.
collection.
That's a pretty great
Yeah.
package.
So yeah, no, it's really well done. I am
It is
super impressed with it. They have like some like vintage footage as well. You're getting like, you know, like old news reports and stuff like that are on there,
Yep.
which is pretty neat to see. A lot of like, you know, we're talking about these exciting new video computer games that they run on
Yeah.
they run on a regular program or on a regular television that's been programmed to display these spaceships. It's all very exciting.
interactive video game software.
Just, yeah, watching like 1970s news anchors.
Yeah. We run
figure
a
out
few
how
of
to
those.
Describe these things that they've never seen before.
We run a few of those as transitions on place video games. We'll grab these
Oh, that's
old.
great.
Yeah.
But yes,
Fun stuff.
so I've been playing a bit of that. So
I see.
that's it though for me.
Okay.
What about you, CJ?
Well, I have been playing Sonic Frontiers, Atari 50, and I've been playing a little bit more Splatoon 3 because it was a Splatfest weekend, and I had
Sure.
to
a
do
very
my part.
important Splatfest, from what I understand.
That's right. It was a battle of the starters. Like, are you fire, grass type, or water type? I, of course, was fighting
Battle
for
of the
water
first partners.
type.
Team Fire.
You were Team Fire?
Team Blaze, man. Always.
All right. All right. I mostly pick water starters. I don't know why. But I guess it's over. I don't know who won, but I played a little bit of that and leveled up my catalog.
Are you on Team Quacks next week?
I'm on. Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Team
on Team
Quaxley.
Quack for sure. Yeah, Quaxley's the man. I love
Hell
ducks,
yeah.
my favorite animal, so I was all in from the get-go.
There you go. I have my pre-ordered Pokemon Scarlet on my system, ready to go. Phil just excited that is possible, but is not going to say anything. And so yeah. What else did I play? I played A Little to the Left, which is a puzzle game like we were talking about. It just shadow dropped on the Switch
Oh yeah.
during the Indie World. It's a puzzle game where you have to find the order in a bunch of objects that are just kind of strewn upon the screen. And we played a little bit of this. I bought a copy of this for my daughter using gold points, and then bought a copy for myself as well. And we've been playing it kind of co-op, where we'll bring it up on the TV and pass the controller around and see if we can figure out what the order of these objects is going to be. And that's been pretty fun. And some of them have multiple ways that you can solve it. So it'll give you like a bunch of books that are not in any order. And you have to figure out, like, from the spines, like, is it the color? Is it the height of the book that is the thing that I need to match up? Is it this part of the spine that kind of draws a line going down and then up again? Is that what I need to do? like, and you can figure out how to order these things, and you kind of pick it up and move it over, and it sort of feels WarioWare-ish in some way, but it's more chill than that. There's no time limit. It's kind of chill. At times, the cat's paw, because that's the main thing. Like, a cat will interrupt what you're doing and mess with your order, as they do in real life, right? So, but it's pretty fun, and they have like a little daily. It's called like the Daily Mess or something like that, I think. And you go into it, and everybody gets the same challenge for that day, and you have to see if you can solve it. And this one that we did was like car keys that were they were just keys that looked very different, and you had to like order them and place them in the right place to see if you could solve it. We did not solve that one, but because it was very hard, but kind of having fun going through it cooperatively.
That's actually exciting that you get one you didn't solve. I didn't expect the game to be challenging.
It's more challenging than you'd think.
Wow. Yeah. That's good feedback.
There were a bunch of them so far where I had to just like stare at the screen for a while and be like, all right, what is the common element here? Is there a common element? So yeah, it's pretty interesting game, pretty chill puzzle game.
CJ,
if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah.
So I understand the basic premise of this game, but I don't really understand it. So if they present you with like a bunch of keys,
yeah,
just as an example, what would the solution like? In what way would you be organizing those keys?
Well, it depends on how they look.
Okay.
What the size of the key is. These had the little notches in the key going different directions.
Okay.
So we thought, okay, maybe that means we have to organize them so that they're pointed towards each other.
Okay.
And you have to do it in pairs or something. That didn't turn out to be the solution, but things like that.
Okay.
Or one was like a jar, like a set of jars that had different amounts of liquid and different amounts of things inside of them.
Oh.
And you had to like figure out a way to organize these jars, and there were multiple ways to do it.
Okay.
Or like pencils. There's like a jumble of pencils, and you had to like look at the size of the lead on the top, like how sharp they were, and you could organize it by that, or you could organize them by the size from the tallest to smallest. So yeah, different ways like that.
Huh. You know what's weird?
Yeah.
This is not at all related to video games. But
you're going to say, for somebody who's got a bunch of pictures over here, so disorganized, you're playing a game where you're organizing things?
No, I actually wasn't going to say that at all. But now that you mentioned it.
Well, damn.
No, what struck me as a bit odd. Not odd, but interesting. Maybe only interesting to me. In fact, that's probably guaranteed. When you were describing pencils right now,
yeah,
you mentioned the top of the pencil.
Yes.
As being the writing end.
Yeah. The graphite.
The end that you sharpen.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to ask me, Phil, what is the top of a pencil? I would say the eraser. And I would say the writing end is the bottom of the pencil. Whereas apparently you think the opposite.
That's right.
I don't know. Donnie, where do you land on this? Which side is the top of the pencil?
It's a very important issue.
I started thinking about it as soon as you started saying it. I don't think I've ever given any thought.
Well, see, this is the problem with this country today. Is the real issues are being ignored.
It's interesting because had this not happened,
yeah,
I think I too would have unconsciously said the top of the pencil is the part that you write with.
Okay.
But after you started going down this path, I started thinking, when you buy pencils in the pack, they always come with the erasers up.
That's true.
You see the erasers and then you see down. You don't ever see just sawed off pencils at the top. You always see the eraser down.
It is very true.
But at the same time, when you erase something, you flip it over.
You do flip it over,
right,
to erase.
Let me throw this little wrench into our logic here.
Let's do it.
If you buy a decorative item that you put on the pencil.
Hmm.
You know, like a little cartoon character or something. What is that called?
Topper
It's called a pencil topper. And where does that go?
on the eraser side.
Goes on the eraser
I think
side.
you're right, Phil.
Yeah, you're right. But in this case, you're
I'm not-
arranging the pencils on a desk, and it is the writing side is up.
I see.
In that.
And I'm not saying I'm right. I may be,
No,
maybe
I think you
I'm.
are.
I think you might be right. But
I
So
just
what I
thought
was
it was
trying
one
to
of those
find
interesting,
is
variants of how people categorize things, which I guess is the whole point of this game.
whole
the
point of
number
this
2
game.
pencil.
Mm-hmm.
What direction is the 2? The 2 is top to bottom from the eraser down, right?
Yes,
So then, yeah, that's got to be the
I
top.
believe
I
so.
don't know.
I
Then
believe
it's
you
gotta
have to be
the top.
holding
Yeah,
the
because
pencil.
otherwise it would look upside down.
That's true.
So that's got to be the top.
That's true.
Yeah,
The world will never know.
I'm trying to find pictures of number 2 pencils so I can verify that.
Scoop Jessica
But
in the
like-
chat's on my side with this.
But
There you go.
like?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the picture, but I already know that it's not. Because if you imagine if you holding a pencil and you looked at it and the 2 was upside down, what a crazy live in chaos world that would be in. Like,
Right?
That can't be possible. Yeah, the 2 is at the top. Yeah, it's the top of the pencil, is
Yeah.
the eraser.
There
But I
you
think
go.
most
There's
people.
not
But I
even-
think.
Sides to this argument. I'm agreeing with you, Phil.
But I think most
I'm not-
people would say. But if I was to ask you, what is the butt side of the pencil? What would you say? You wouldn't say the tip.
If the butt side,
What's the butt? What's the butt of a pencil?
It's got to be the eraser.
yeah. If you were to, if that is true, if you were to say, yeah,
What an enigma. What have you done? Phil, I'll never forgive you for this.
it's okay. That's what I'm here to do. You know, there's no
Well.
Mavis Beacon of Mavis
She doesn't
Beacon teaches
exist.
typing. There's no such
Right.
person. She's not a real person.
That's mind blowing. Yes, they created her. She's a
She
fictional
is a
character.
made up person.
An amalgam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sampled DNA from 100 of the world's top typists to create a perfect physical specimen of typing education. And they have vats where they grow
Yeah.
Mavis Beacons these days.
Yikes.
Yeah. When one gets too
Wow.
old, they bring out a new one. We got a new Mavis Beacon
Some of
ready to
those-
go.
Or like the Ripley clones in Alien 3. Was it Alien?
Gosh,
What
I don't
movie was
know.
it? Where there were clones of Ripley and some of them were real messed up. Anyway,
I don't remember. That might have been the fourth one.
it might have been the fourth one. Yeah. Let's talk
Anyway.
about video games some more. So I've been playing
Mavis
Fortnite.
Beacon teaches typing is a video game.
When are they going to add Mavis Beacon to Fortnite? That's what I'd like to know.
Yo.
They already have Ripley and a xenomorph.
Do they
don't
have Carmen Sandiego?
No, not
Now
yet.
there's a matchup I want to
I
see.
thought they did, Carmen. No?
Did they do Carmen Sandiego
I
in
thought they
Fortnite?
did.
Who
Oh
would
my
win in a
God.
fight? Mavis Beacon or Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, only in Fortnite. You find out.
Throw the chess master in there.
Yeah, the chess master.
Yeah, that old kind of wizard
Oh,
fella.
Yeah, I
He
know
loves-
what you're talking
He
about. I know what
loves
you're talking
playing chess.
It looks like no.
about. Oh,
No Carmen Sandiego
Carmen?
in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Well,
Please tell me you just Googled is Carmen Sandiego in Fortnite.
I did.
Oh, I love it.
Trying to find out.
How many
Yeah.
people have Googled that? You may be the first.
There are YouTube videos and blogs dedicated to is Carmen Sandiego on Fortnite. So I don't think I'm the
Yeah.
first.
Oh, I take that back then.
yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely. It's not just like a video. There are multiple videos.
Okay, so this just proves there's demand.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
thing here.
Okay, let's get going,
Yeah.
Epic.
Anyway, hey, chapter 4 is going to be in December, so I'm very excited about that. This is the first time I'll have experienced a chapter switch in Fortnite because I never used to play that game. But anyway, that's all I've been playing. So let's do some tweets.
Oh, twiddly diddly dee. Twiddly diddly dee. Tweet. Tweet.
Hacker
Tweet.
News.
Tweet.
All right,
Yes.
let's do this one from Hacker Ilias Namova, who says, I saw that Phil bought Atari 50 for Switch. He
I
and
did.
Seward said that they rarely play Switch portably, so I'm curious why they might buy non-exclusives for it instead of the more powerful hardware?
Well, you need that
Question.
powerful hardware to run your Atari 2600 games.
Ninja Golf.
Yeah.
With frames.
Yeah.
Ninja
You
Golf
need it for
needs
Ninja
that
Golf.
PS5 processor.
The SSD. And this is what Cerny's been planning.
That's exactly it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, certainly this is not a game that requires more powerful hardware.
True.
But you know what? For these kind of classic retro game collections, I like having them on the Switch. Even though I don't play it portably a lot,
Yeah.
I will play it portably on occasion.
Have the option.
Yeah, I like having that option. So
If I may, I didn't buy it, but if I may try to put an answer in your mouth, is it because the Switch software is just more valuable?
you know what? That does occasionally factor into it.
Huh.
Whereas, yeah,
It just
I mean,
is.
if you have looking down the line, the Switch stuff is probably going to end up being a little pricier down the road. So,
Yeah.
if I do need to resell it at some point,
You'll get more for the
There
Switch
you go.
copy.
that's free real estate, baby.
Yeah. You won't get a nickel for an Xbox copy of a game.
Exactly.
All right, let's do this one for Hacker Alias. Mr. Nelson, who says, which video game consoles would you like to see made as Moldoramas? Now, we should preface this by saying Moldoramas are little like wax vending machines that are mainly in the Chicago area.
It's
I wanna
plastic.
say.
What?
First of all.
Plastic, not wax. You're
Yes,
right.
it is. They are machines. I believe they were
Yeah.
created in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah. And you'd
there's
find them at the Museum of Science and Industry and Brookfield Zoo, like
Yep.
those
Well,
places in Chicago.
The reason he's bringing this up is because I've actually been chatting
Yeah.
with Mr. Nelson on the Twitter about this. There is an exhibit of these machines
Oh,
currently at the Museum of Science and Industry
yeah.
in
Okay.
Chicago. They have, I think, upwards of
Excellent.
100. Maybe
Oh,
I don't
man.
know
Wow.
exactly, but
The
They have a bunch
3D
of those
printers
machines?
before there were 3D printers.
yeah, well, exactly.
And I'm looking at these figurines that come out of them.
Yes,
They're all one color.
yeah.
One
well, 'cause
color.
it's just injection molded plastic.
That's it.
You're at the zoo because they're meant to be like simple, cheap souvenirs.
Sure.
For
Yeah, you know
kids.
how a lot of places have that penny thing that'll like stretch out the penny
yeah.
and put
Yeah.
whatever it is on there.
And the
Yeah,
question
it's-
is, which console would we want made?
Yeah, as a Moldorama.
Yeah, as a
Considering
a-
that they can only be one color, that would rule out a lot of systems that have multicolors, because I think it'd be harder to differentiate them. Or you'd want something so specific that you would absolutely know what it is just by looking at it. You
Yeah.
can't just have like a generic box in one color, because it could be many things. So with
Right.
all of that said, my answer would be a Game Boy.
that was the first one that popped into my head as well. Was the old
Really?
brick
Yeah,
Game Boy
exactly.
would look great as a
Because you
simple
could tell the screen,
injection.
the buttons, like you would know exactly what that
Yeah.
was, even if it was solid red.
Yep.
I'm gonna say a PS1, like nice
Yeah.
gray plastic. You have the round CD flip top.
Yep.
That'd be nice.
buttons
A
inside.
PS3 would look really good too. With that
The grill.
with the nice like
Shiny.
Yeah.
smooth top
piano.
there, the curved top.
Yeah.
Maybe a GameCube too.
So that's the one I was thinking not. Because I
Oh,
think that just
really?
looks like a box.
But you get the handle. It would be purple plastic.
I'm looking at
Ah,
it this though, like you don't get a lot of detail, right? Like you may get a lot of lines or something, but you're not getting
You
like
can get
logos or anything on it.
You can get some pretty
right?
decent detail out of those. I mean, it's not
They usually said the name of the place. Like I think I had
Yeah.
a dolphin that was from Brookfield Zoo, and it said
Yeah, none of the
Brookfield
ones I'm
Zoo.
seeing say anything like they're just like kind of
yeah, like down by the
Yeah.
base, they would have the
oh, okay.
the name of
That
the
changes
location where you
things.
got it embossed in.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
man, I wish
Moldoramas are awesome.
I wish I was back in Chicago right now to go to this exhibit because yeah,
And it's just a Chicago thing.
I know. Absolutely.
I'd never heard of this until this very moment.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I
Why
agree
and why
with
would you?
And why would you? Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Let's do this question from Delvin Cox, who asks, if one of the games that released this year could get a redo, which game would you want it to be? It could be because of the marketing, bugs, or anything that didn't make the game hit like it should have.
Oh. Oh.
Which thing should get a redo?
Can I just like make it better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it just didn't launch well. Like, we talking Gotham Knights where the whole
I mean, that
frames
sounds
per
like-
second thing
That sounds like an
and
answer.
messed with that.
I don't know.
That's actually a pretty
Horizon.
good question.
Horizon Forbidden West. Just
I
make
would
the game
prefer
better.
Bayonetta 3 be delayed until better hardware was available.
Ah, that's a good one.
Hmm.
That is a good one.
This is one of those ones where I wish I knew about the question ahead of time, because I bet if I could flip through a list of like what games came out this year, I'd be able to
You'd be able to come
a
up with
few
something.
answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
My immediate thought was Saints Row.
Ah.
I think for a lot of things that game doesn't do, I still enjoyed it,
Hmm.
but not in like a Sonic Frontiers way. Like it's definitely not that good. I just don't think it's awful. Dying Light, which I really enjoyed. I love the first one. Dying Light 2, the story and stuff just isn't nearly as good. Still fun game, still fun zombie killer, you know.
Mhm.
I would prefer maybe that one to be better. That's what I was thinking when I was like, can I just make it better? Like, we just pause the game, make it better, and then re-release it. That would be my candidate for that one. But no, I think Bayonetta takes the cake for me.
Hmm.
And Bayonetta's fine. Leave it just alone. Just wait for better hardware.
What about Lego Star Wars? They came out with like new stuff with that.
That's a good call.
Like, what do you mean?
Like they did another, like the game came out in the spring, right? And then
Right.
they're doing like a fall re-release with more stuff.
They have a bunch of packs and stuff.
I think it's just
Packs.
I think the quote unquote new version that just came out is kind of like the game of the year version,
Yeah.
where it just has all the DLC.
All the DLC in it. Oh, okay. I thought it had new stuff that wasn't in there before.
Does it?
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's just the DLC packs and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's kind of like an all-in-one bundle.
Well, then I feel better about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and play some more of that game.
I do too.
Speaking of,
I liked what I played of it.
oh, I loved
I
it,
stopped.
and I played a lot of it. It's so darn big.
It's so long. Yeah.
There's so much to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I need to get back into it. But oh man, now we're at this. We've hit that point where there's like a lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
I wanted to replay Control. I installed it, and then the fall happened. I was like, well, I will see you in I don't know January, February, maybe.
I mean, even in December, there's still great stuff coming out. You
Yep.
got Callisto Protocol. You got
Need for
Sports
Speed.
Story. Need for Speed. There's that Dragon Quest Treasures game that comes out in December. Like, there's all this stuff.
Yep.
December is oddly packed. Normally, games try to avoid December because there's just nothing happening. It's sort of a marketing void.
Right.
But now you got games coming out in December, and it's very
You want
weird.
everything ahead of the shopping season, not after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very strange.
Hmm.
But, all right, let's finish up with this one from listener Jose, who says, thanks for the birthday shout out, guys. CJ, if you had the choice of saving Phil's life or getting all of your stolen items from your storage unit back, what would you do?
There it is.
Now, my question here is, if I say I want to get all the items from my storage unit back, does that mean that Phil dies?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
exactly
okay.
what that question means.
Then I definitely will save Phil's life.
It's electricity all over again.
There it is. I have some bad news, CJ.
Yeah.
You could have taken care of two birds with one stone.
How's that?
Well, as it turns out,
Oh, you pass away and I get all your stuff?
no.
your
I
storage
was the
locker?
one who stole all your stuff.
That's what I was.
Damn it!
Yep. Gotcha.
It's been revealed.
You've been punked.
God. Well,
One of my patented practical jokes.
That's
CJ,
dark.
I appreciate.
that's scarring me emotionally. To think
Now,
about. No.
don't forget that I also had my
you
crap
did
stolen
yes,
out of my storage
That's
unit as
true.
well. So
but not everything.
not everything,
Right.
certainly, but
Mine was everything.
That's
All
true.
I'll
right.
never use a storage locker after hearing this
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh.
no, I had a good chunk of my childhood memories taken from me as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully they're doing
Yes.
someone some good. But
That's how I feel as well. Hopefully somebody's out there enjoying it. You know, that's all
Oh,
I can
boy.
ask for. That's all I can ask for.
hope you're enjoying that transformer my dead grandma got me. I really would like to still have it. I really loved her.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah. All right,
And that's
then.
our show for this week.
That's a good
Wow.
place to stop.
Thanks for tuning
That
in.
downer note. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart. You'll also find Generation 16 episodes, one of which he is working on, but I don't think he finished by the time he was going on vacation, so you'll have to wait a little bit longer for that. But it was all about the Genesis Mini 2. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
You'll also find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about on this show. You will also find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
So this person just wanted you to say that you would kill me. Why do people want us to
did.
fight?
Is that weird? That's
We're
weird.
friends.
I know.
We're friends.
We've been friends
We're
for
not-
like 25 years.
It makes me wonder it sounds guilty.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like maybe that's the person that did the stuff.
Why would you want us to
Why
fight
would you-
amongst ourselves?
turn us against each other.
There's so much hostility in the world these days. Why
Yeah,
tear
that's
friends apart?
That's right. Yeah.
I'll tell you, hey, you know what? Tough guy, I'll tell you what. I would gladly sacrifice my life to get CJ's stuff back. What do you think about that?
That seems
Wow.
excessive.
What do you think about that?
I don't know
I-
everything
don't
that
do
was
that, though.
itemized in there, but I mean, CJ, surely
But-
we could replace it for
There
a
you go.
monetary value that's much
you go.
less than Phil's life. That's
I don't know,
excessive,
man.
I
don't know.
Excessive, yeah.
There we go.
But Phil, can I have that Lego Bowser?
I think a
Yeah, I mean, if
small
you're not
home
gonna
loan
use it-
might get this accomplished.
Are you kidding? I paid for that thing. No, that's mine. Screw you. Go get your own.
Okay.
I know where there's a Lego shop right by here. You can go over there and get your own.
Okay.
Jeez. Greedy. How dare you? My good audacity of you.
Exactly.
Hey, I'll tell you what, my dear friends, if you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio or on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch televisions, every which way but loose, you will find us. Now, typically, we record on Sunday evenings at 5:30 specific time, but follow our Twitter account, why don't you? Over at at P1 Podcast for as long as that site's going to be around.
As long as it's still active.
True.
Every day. Every day. It's just, it's like we're watching the Titanic sink. Is what it feels like. But follow our Twitter account, which is just at P1 Podcast, to find out when we are doing our next live show. Are we on Mastodon?
Yes, we are actually.
We are.
There is a P1 podcast account on Mastodon.
Access our Mastodon server and load up our instance.
I refuse to go elsewhere.
I have no idea
Yeah.
how
I'll
Mastodon
either
works.
retreat into Reddit and Facebook and just go back, but I refuse to adopt another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know.
Sure, it'll be fine. He'll run into the ground. Somebody else
It'll
will
be
buy it.
fine.
We'll
Yeah,
see
it'll
what
be fine.
happens. We're just
All
gonna
going
sit
back to dig.com. See you there.
Zynga.
Big. My Friendster account is still active, so I'm ready to.
Stir.
AOL keyword P1 podcast. Yes.
There you go. Anyway,
When's Advance Wars coming out, guys?
Oh. Never.
I thought you guys might have some
Say
inside
never.
info or something. I need the game.
I'm gonna
come out.
say August 23.
oh my
August.
goodness, look at
It's
that!
so much longer than I
It's a
wanted.
Larrabee lock.
It's not a Larrabee lock.
But yes, follow our Twitter account. Hey, and if you like what you've heard, and how could you head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. If we do not get enough money, CJ will murder me. This has been established.
True. That is not
True.
true. No.
Only you
No.
can. Oh boy. I should not tie our Patreon funds to let's try and save Phil's life, because
New Patreon goal.
we will lose Patreon, whatever the opposite of hand over fist is.
Each month, CJ will reclaim his one lost item.
There you
and
go.
if the
Aw.
Patreon fails to make it, well,
I lose a finger.
the consequences have been laid out. We've seen where this goes.
Clearly.
Oh my goodness. No, but you know what? Your Patreon funds do, of course, help support our show, keep us streaming here on the old on the melons and all that stuff. But you know what? We don't want to leave you empty-handed, friends. If you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
there it is.
Yes.
You will gain access to a special weekly bonus episode. We record it right after this, where we play games, crack wise, having fun, doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ.
Yeah. Yes. We have a quiz. It is
Oh my gosh.
water type 1. in
Donnie is updating
Splatoon.
us with a look at his phone, saying the water type has won the
Waxley
Splatfest.
is the winner. Yes.
Squirtle Squad.
Squirtle
advances.
Squad.
There it is.
Winning. Hashtag winning.
There it is.
Yeah. But yes, we do have a quiz, Phil. It is about Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh,
Questions regarding Weird Al.
well,
Not necessarily related to the new movie starring Daniel Radcliffe, but
Right.
just about Weird Al's life and music
okay.
and all of that stuff. Donnie, if you want to, you can join us. No requirement, of course. I know it is late for you. So, but we will be doing that after this.
I'm excited. You know, I'm
Weird
a
Al.
big Weird Al fan.
Yeah.
Have been.
Me 15-year-old me was also a big Weird Al
Yeah.
fan.
Have been since the beginning.
It goes
The
in
very
waves.
first.
I'm always a fan when new material is released. I get back into it and then fall out and then back in, etc.
The very first cassette tape that I purchased on my own was Dare to Be Stupid
There you go.
back in the day. So I'm very excited about this. So we'll be doing that. And of course, if you have a couple bucks left over, why don't you head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward. Just Seward, not Stewart, you goofs. Seward.
Yeah.
To help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite run up, the Sega Genesis.
It's true.
Gosh, Phil, thanks so much. It's always nice to hear you throw your valuable support behind my show. I do such good work on it. I try so hard.
It's a
And I
good,
hope one
good
day-
Greg impression.
Thank you very much, CJ.
I mean, that's Greg calling in from Walt Disney World.
Yes, I'm here at the happiest place on earth, enjoying one of those Mickey Mouse shaped ice cream treats.
You kind of sound like Goofy there. You're
little
getting
bit.
very
Gosh.
close.
Well,
Very close.
I did. It's one of
Garsh.
those things where you sort of adopt the accent when you've been here for a while.
Yeah.
Kids, get off Space Mountain. Get
Wow.
back down here. Oh my gosh, these kids are causing so much trouble, CJ.
Yeah.
Anyway, gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Greg. Nice to hear from you again.
That was just a Greg filter on your microphone.
I have that
Yeah.
button. It's right
Nailed
next to the devil button.
Yeah.
And by which I mean the button that I used to summon the devil.
Yeah. Yep. We got you.
That's the one. There it is right there.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Anyway, there's that. Is that it?
That's
Are
it.
we done?
Yeah.
Are we done? Can we go?
Yeah.
CJ,
Yes.
thank you
Thank you, Phil.
so much. I appreciate it. And of course, a big old thanks to our super special guest. I refer, of course, to Donnie Reese. A
Thank you
treat
so much.
having you on the show. Tell everyone where we can find you again.
It's very simple. PSVG.
PSV.
Put that into the internet somewhere. You're bound to come across us. You're going to subscribe to the podcast, play some video games. That's what it stands for. YouTube.com at PSVG. Little ad symbol. Makes it very easy.
Look at that.
PSVG on Twitter. All
I
that.
typed it in right there, and there's like pictures of you
There we go.
There
on
you
my
go.
You
screen.
did it. Nailed it.
Perfect.
Well, you're also Eat the Hype on Twitter. And there are
Yes.
other places they
Yeah.
can
If
follow
somebody wants to
you.
just follow specifically me, yeah, like follow me
Yeah.
on Eat the Hype.
Yeah.
My very my Devolver laden name.
And
There you go.
yeah, thank you for joining us, Donnie. It was
Yeah.
That was a blast. Like I said,
it
it
was
was
great.
an honor. Thank you guys.
It was great.
Love to come back.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely an upgrade from who we usually have in that.
That
in
is very
corner.
true. Yes.
Don't tell him I said that. He's
Until I started talking about Atari, right?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. Oh boy. No, I'm kidding. Of course. It was very nice of you to show up, and again, a big old thank you to you, our wonderful listeners, every single one of you. As always, take care of yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. Probably don't have to bother with the fruit quake.
Yeah.
I noticed during the show I was dipping into my water a lot more than I was dipping back into the fruit quake.
That's right.
Never mind. And we hope to see you next week, friends.
That's right.
Toodaloos.
Bye-bye.